Could the Bears trade for Bengals first round pick Shemar Stewart, the freak pass rusher out of Texas A&M who they picked in the first round? Amidst all the issues with the NFL and their second round pick contracts, one story that might have gotten lost in the shuffle for Bears fans at least is the Cincinnati Bengals' awful contract situation with first round pick Shemar Stewart. Not Trey Hendrickson, but the guy they picked in round one, and also not to be confused with teammate Bears second rounder Shamar Turner. The Bengals' first round pick is the only player selected in round one who skipped all of OTAs and rookie minicamps. He's also a guy who's never had more than 1.5 sacks in a season. That's his career high, and he only had 4 total sacks in his entire collegiate career. You would think he's a guy who needs to be in camp practicing, but that situation is murky. I made a video over a week ago talking about it on Swift Scouting Network. I want to be clear on one thing though. A lot of people out there, and I believe this as well, were saying that no rookie in NFL history has signed a contract with a clause like this in it. Tom Pelissero has reported that is not true. He said that basically every team writes contracts with their own language and do things their own way. They all go by the guidelines of the NFLPA, the Players Association, and according to predetermined slotted values. But some franchises in the NFL have had languages that void guarantees in extreme circumstances. Not the exact language that the Bengals are trying to put in, but things that are kind of similar. Nobody knows exactly what teams have that and what teams don't. But what we do know for sure is that the Cincinnati Bengals have never had a clause like that in their contracts, and they're trying to include it for the first time ever in Shemar Stewart's deal. That is why this holdout has gotten so messy. In fact, things have gotten so ugly, the media guys are speculating the Bengals could trade his rights before training camp. A recent story on Bleacher Report actually listed the Bears as the team most likely to trade for the Texas A&M pass rusher and the Bengals' first round pick. The suggested trade package, you ask? That was our second and third round picks from 2026. I don't know if I'd want to give up both day two picks, but that is actually not terrible value. Being able to land the number 17 overall selection in this year's draft for a second and third round pick in 2026 is great value. There's no way that any team would have accepted that during this year's draft. No team would have given up their first round pick for a second and third next year. That's just not happening. So that part at least has me intrigued. And he's a guy who fits the Bears' needs. But I want to be clear here. I do not expect the Bengals to trade a guy a few months after selecting him in the first round. But I also didn't expect them to try to make an example out of this guy and include a clause that no other pick in Bengals history had to sign, let alone a first rounder. So this situation has already gotten a bit out of hand. I expect Cincinnati to stop messing around and get Stewart signed before training camp, and then all these crazy rumors can go away. But while I consider this extremely unlikely, I do believe that if for some reason the Bengals chose to trade away Stewart, Ryan Poles and Dennis Allen would have some interest. I would offer next year's second round pick in a heartbeat. Yet Stewart is still raw and needs development, but he is a freak athlete who literally redefined the athletic bar for the position. He scored the highest RAS score ever, a perfect 10.0, and he compares favorably as far as size and athleticism to none other than Myles Garrett. So guys like Shemar Stewart simply do not grow on trees, and the Bears have had a need for a freak edge rusher since we traded away Khalil Mack. Yes, we still have Montez Sweat, and there are too many fans out there that are just forgetting how good of a player Montez is. But you can never have enough pass rushers. And honestly, I have no idea what the Bengals front office is doing. So while I highly doubt they trade away their first round pick before he even steps on the practice field, if something like this were to happen, I do believe the Bears would have interest. But as far as the likelihood of something like this happen, I would say the chances are slim to none. But I wanted to get out in front of this before it became a big rumor and try to explain the situation as thoroughly as possible. The Shemar Stewart situation has nothing to do with the second round pick stuff or Luther Burden's situation. It's a completely separate issue that the Bengals have gotten into with Shemar Stewart. Let me know how you guys feel about this one. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.
The Bears.